Hey everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another Twisted Sisters video hop. This month, the Twisted Sisters are featuring products from the new January-February 2024 catalog, and we're choosing items to twist and show in a new and unexpected way. So I have chosen the Sweet Memories papers and stickers. So I'm going to create a single page layout, and I'm going to use an accent color of Harbor with this collection. And the photos that I'm going to scrapbook are winter photos. This was from the first big snowstorm that we had at the end of October. I snapped a couple pictures in our backyard of the snow-covered trees, and I'm going to feature them in my layout. Okay, so usually you would expect this collection to be used for heritage, ancestry, possibly Valentine, family pictures, but I'm going to show how to use it for snow. Okay, so I'm going to begin by doing a stencil treatment to my background of White Daisy. My background is a base of White Daisy, and this is a mat that I cut in periwinkle for each of the photos. So I'm using a stencil that is from last year's core catalog from 2022, and really you can choose whatever pattern you like. And I'm stenciling this in mist ink. It's a coordinating color to Sweet Memories. I'm kind of doing it at an angle just so a little bit peeks out from the top and bottom and side of my photos. Okay, so I've got some in first gen and second gen depths of color, and just to give a little more interest to that plain white background. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my trimmer and I'm going to trim some of the Sweet Memories papers. This one is a periwinkle pattern, and I'm going to trim a piece at a 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to bring in this mulberry pattern and I'm going to trim a 1/4 inch. So just little peaks of these patterned papers can really add a big impact to your scrapbook page. And then on the other side with this pattern, I'm going to fussy cut this. It's like a Viewmaster reel. I'm going to fussy cut this out. And if you don't like to fussy cut, there's an image in the digital collection from Sweet Memories that has this same image. So you could cut it using your Cricut if you like. But I just thought it was pretty easy to cut it out, and I liked the other treatments to this image, so I just fussy cut it. And then I'm going to use some of these snow images from the Snow Cute stamp set. This is from the November-December catalog, but you can go through your stash and see what kind of snow images you have. And then I have some of these old thin cuts from several different years. I just pulled all the Snowflake thin cuts that I could find in my stash, and I cut out a whole bunch of glitter images in coordinating colors that match the collection. And finally, I have the simple serif alphabet thin cuts, and I cut out the letters BRR, and I've stacked them on a couple layers of white cardstock, so they're more like chipboard pieces. So it spells burr. Okay, so I'm going to lay everything out on my layout background, just to kind of get a feel for where I want things to be. So these strips that I cut of the Sweet Memories paper, I'm just going to tear them and make them shorter. So if you like the white quarter bean scene, tear towards you. And if you don't, tear away from you. So I want a little bit of the core to be seen. And then I'm going to look at my stickers here. So I like this journal block, and I think it's going to fit my title perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to lay that Viewmaster reel out, and I'm just going to kind of lay my pictures out to see where everything can be placed. And I want my mats to be just a little bit darker. So I'm going to ink around the edges in periwinkle ink. So it's tone on tone, but it's just going to darken and kind of age the edges of these mats. And I like to cut my stickers out from my carrier sheet so that I can work with them before I commit to sticking them down. So I've cut out this journal block, and I'm also going to ink around the edges. And it seems like a lot of ink, but there's a border around there that's going to peel away. So it's just a tiny bit of color around the edges next to that mulberry. Okay, so I'm going to lay my letters out, and I'm going to do a little stamping to the background of this journal block so that there's some snowflakes behind my letters. So I'm doing second generation stamping in Periwinkle and also first gen. So I'm just stamping the ink off on this scratch paper and then stamping down. So it's just a little bit lighter version of Periwinkle. Okay, so I'll get that stamp cleaned up and I'm gonna lay my letters out. And I think like that. Okay. So I'm gonna bring in some more patterned paper and I'm gonna create an embellishment cluster for that section that's underneath my photos. So now I'm going to cut a piece of this periwinkle pattern at 1 by 4, and then I'll dovetail one end. So just snip vertically in the center and take each corner to meet that snip and cut that triangle out, and you've got your dovetailed end. So I'm going to lay that down, and then I'm going to bring in this mulberry patterned paper, and then I'll cut a tiny strip to layer over that. And I'll tear one end. So it kind of coordinates with the two strips that I have on the left side. And then I thought I would bring in this piece of zip strip from that same mulberry paper. And I'm going to dovetail one end. So it's kind of eyeballing the length. And then I'll dovetail one end and layer that in with the embellishment cluster. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to bring my stickers back in, and I like this sticker. Sorry, it's off camera here, but I like this sticker that says Home Sweet Home. And then I also like this camera sticker that has a date area on it. So I'm going to use both of those stickers. So again, I'm just trimming them from the carrier sheet so that I can kind of play around with them and move them around on my layout before I'm ready to stick them down. Okay, so off camera, I've added the date and first snow for my journaling. Layout is pretty self-explanatory, so I don't need a lot of journaling. And now I'm going to lay my glitter snowflakes out along these two strips of Sweet Memories patterned paper. So I'm going to have a whole bunch of snowflakes just cascading down the left side of the page. So I'm just varying the different colors. I've got Harbor and Periwinkle and White and Mulberry in various sizes and shapes. And we'll just have them all cascading down. And I'm just kind of looking at them and the different shapes, and I'll swap some out. And I want the smaller ones to kind of be towards the bottom. Sometimes you don't know till you actually lay it down and see what it looks like. I have plenty to choose from. So we'll get them all laid out. So while I'm doing this, be sure to click on the playlist at the end of this video, and I'll put a link in the description below as well to see all of the other videos the Twisted Sisters have done this month with new products from the January-February 2024 catalog. Okay, so get all those laid out. I think I like what I see. So off camera, I'm going to glue everything down. Okay, so I'm using a combination of tape runner and wet glue. And an option for the snowflakes would have been to use some double-sided adhesive before running it through with the thin cuts, but I'm just using wet glue and that works just as well. Okay, so I have everything glued down, and then I have popped my photos on some foam tape. So we'll get those adhered. Pretty simple layout, but the pop of that glitter paper really makes an impact. So pretty. Then we'll get our stickers down. I'm ready to commit now. So get those stickers laid down. And then we'll layer that date sticker just at the bottom. Okay. And now I have some of these acrylic snowflakes. These are part of the Gnomes for Winter collection. And they're white acrylic, and they're several sizes and shapes of snowflakes. And so I'm going to use a few of those and scatter them around. Kind of decide on which ones I want and where I want them to be, just for a little pop of dimension. So to attach your acrylic shapes, the best adhesive to use is a glue dot. They stick to both the paper and the acrylic really well. So I'm just going to place those down. And then for another pop of shine, I'm going to use some of these sequins. These are the bluebell sequins from a long time ago. And there are some that kind of look like they are periwinkle and holographic, and some of the blue that's close to harbor. So I'm just going to scatter a whole bunch of these all over and glue them down with a dot of glue. So we'll get started scattering and I'll do the rest off camera. Okay, so we're going to call it done. Pretty simple. It still has a lot going on with all the different embellishments, but shows off those pictures nicely, I think. So I appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button and then you'll be able to find all of my videos. I do both card making and scrapbooking videos and a few home deck items too. So be sure to click on that playlist for the rest of the Twisted Sisters videos for this month. And I appreciate you watching. Thanks.